All right.
There it is. Okay, and then just
We're
type in
searching for
like
that Jeremy Silman
Silman
course
or
to remember Jeremy Silman. So you just search for Silman in here.
yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it wants to autocorrect. Okay, press enter. Let's see. Oh, he does chess. Wait, that's what showed up right there?
Yeah, that's all his stuff. He has a couple things like the chess potpourri.
Because
Trying to
this one,
remember.
oh, that's interesting. Chess. He would do chess in the movies too, but that was Jeremy Kane. I don't see it. It doesn't say any author. Oh, this one's his. Okay.
Yeah, lessons
Oh,
in
he said this is his
strategy.
too. Oh, he does it with someone else maybe in this one, but this is just by him, right? Silman's lesson, obviously, Silman's lesson is strategy. What else does he have? Silman teaches tactics. And Nikki, were you speaking about a particular one?
I think I was doing the strategy one. I'm not 100%, but
Okay,
they're
let's see.
all good.
Okay,
I
is
didn't
there
do all of
anything?
them,
So he just
obviously.
has strategy tactic, or just to see before we go to it, what else does he have? If you scroll down a little bit, Jesse. Roots of positional understanding. Oh, that's good. Well, there's a
Yeah, that's
lot.
probably a good one.
267 lessons. Wow. Yeah. So at first he was. It's funny actually. He and Jeremy Kane. I know Jeremy, nice guy. He's in the area too. Oh no, he's in the area. Actually, Silman is from. He was born in Texas. Looked like he was from Texas, and then he spent time. He was a quote military brat, right? And then he spent time in California. I think he ended up like San Diego, and then I thought he was in Seattle area or something somewhere in the Northwest, but I didn't realize that he actually lived out the rest of his days in LA. I didn't realize he was in LA. That's
Oh,
my home city. So
I think
anyway,
I think he was in San Francisco for a while.
yeah, that's what we spoke about it. I think I thought he was up there, but apparently, yeah, for some time he was in LA. But yeah, he was yeah, it's actually just speaking of it, he has some form of dementia, right? Apparently he died of some. I think that was from the New York Times article that they quoted in Wikipedia. But they cited it, but like he seemed to be pretty sharp. I mean, he was doing stuff recently, wasn't he? I don't know how recent, but I mean, he's so prolific and sharp, so it's surprising to me. Maybe it just happened in the last couple of years. Who knows? You'd think that would be over time, though, wouldn't it? If you guys saw the name of the illness, you just never know.
what did it start with? Like an A, like aplasia or something?
Something,
Aphasia.
something aphasia, something progressive aphasia. What's it called? It's something
Uh,
progressive,
yeah, I don't remember the exact term, but aphasia.
but it's basically like a very severe form of a very severe type of dementia, I guess.
Well,
Apparently.
I looked at dictionary.com here. It says an impairment of a previously held ability to produce or understand spoken, written, or sign language
Oh,
due to
So it's a
disease
very
or injury of the brain. So
So it's a very, yeah, it's a very strong form of, because yeah, that's the
it's
kind of thing like that would happen over time when I've heard on the radio anyway. But
I think that's what
I don't
Bruce
know. But I
Willis
thought
is
he'd
going through right
producing
now.
things pretty recently. It's surprising. What's that?
I think that's what Bruce Willis is going through right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, you just never know. Or then there's like early Alzheimer's, like people in their 40s and stuff. You can get Alzheimer's. I have a family member who had that like in their 40s. So let's go to one of his courses. So do you want to do Nikki, you mentioned, well, there's positional understanding and that's a lot of, so what I was saying is that both he and Jeremy Kane started as bloggers on the site. And then when this video stuff became bigger, like what, 8 years ago or something, then they started doing a lot of that. Okay. So which one do you want to do? Nikki, you mentioned you've done the strategy one.
yeah, I like the strategy and maybe part one or
Well, it looks like it looks like that one says mastery. The other one says mastery intermediate. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it'll
yeah,
probably be
let's go with like
acceptable.
something like simple, like not simple, but like
Well, we'll describe. Wait, it says mastery. It doesn't. Yeah, you want to do the one that says intermediate then? I mean, I
okay,
suppose it. Well, we can discuss it. Like, probably still understand it. But yeah, why don't you want to do the intermediate one then?
yeah,
Well, I know this one, number one says advanced. This roots of positional understanding says intermediate. The other one just says mastery. It doesn't say. Yeah, why don't we do the intermediate one then? Yeah, just to
yeah.
make
I
sure.
never saw that one. That
Crazy.
one actually, I probably should have started with in the first place.
Oh, was it super hard or was it accessible?
It's accessible, but like I'd have to really look at them like I told you, like there's some funny insults in there when you get them wrong.
Hmm.
Like you just lost your queen. And I'm
Okay,
like,
let's
oh,
do. Well,
no.
I wonder if both of them would do that.
I'm sure he has them in
let's just do the
all.
one that you did. Let's do the one that you did to make sure we get dissed.
This one?
Yeah, let's make sure we get dissed by him.
Oh, I think he'll diss you in all of them, honestly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like that's like his sense of humor. So
Oh no, it's not letting it. Wait,
I might not
wait,
be able
not
to
letting
do
us
it.
do it. I can pull it up. Wait. Oh, maybe this is like our last one or something. It's just like, hey, you like this stuff? Get the membership.
yeah, spend
All
that
right.
money.
So okay, so oh no,
Oh, I
okay,
can't do
okay.
it.
I'll pull it up. That's fine. I'll
Okay.
just pull it up. I can pull it up in mine real quick. I actually already have chess.com open, so share screen. Okay, so we got learn lessons. Pure magic. That's kind of cool. Tall's best thing. And Tall's not thought of it as an endgame player, but of course, great tactician, brilliant endgames as well. Okay, so we're gonna do Silman again. That's interesting. Well, Silman served as a consultant to some movies. I know Kasparov has done a lot of that too, to make sure that to try don't have a dark square on the bottom right and things like that. And apparently, yeah, I think Kasparov had them play some very interesting positions in pawn sacrifice, some like full games, and maybe some of them lesser known as well, but like cool games that he pulled up. Okay, so we're doing this one.
Silman did the puzzle or the game in the first Harry Potter movie.
Oh,
Yeah,
he set that
that's-
up. Okay.
Yes,
right.
And then on the Wikipedia page, it said he never received credit for like one of the Harry Potter movies where he was a consultant, apparently.
that's my go-to lesson for my students. Like if I set up that position, I'm like, this is Hermione, and this was Ron, and he sacrificed himself, and they love that. It's like a nice little lesson to
Oh,
do.
that's great. Yeah, to have a real story behind it. That's always good
Oh,
to
they
do.
love, yeah.
I know. I remember this guy like who got some grant to teach in rural Mississippi. Forget his name, but at least there's a 60-minute, people saying, hey, check this out, it's on 60 Minutes. And he has apparently some like very innovative teaching technique where it was all sort of storytelling.
Oh,
And I
cool.
wanted to find out what he does. I mean, the storytime chess, I think it was probably more than that, more advanced than that. And then apparently, like, yeah, these kids were like one of the top. Maybe they traveled outside of Mississippi, but like among the top, and probably top team in Mississippi. But they became really good. So it's interesting. Okay,
Is
so
it on like YouTube or something? Like, could I find it?
yeah, well, yeah. Look at the 60 Minutes episode. Just look up 60
Okay.
Minutes chess Mississippi, and you'll see it.
Okay.
Like I don't know.
Oh,
Like
look, he already has his cat.
It's like 2013 or 14 or something. Yeah, there's the cat. See, but look at how thorough he is, right? You're not going to get this. Well, it's like from his books, right? You're not going to get this from the other instructors. They're going to say, hey, white has a good move to win material.
Mhm.
How can you control the dark? Maybe say, how can you control the dark squares? All right, so white. Oh, yeah, okay. White has a nice pawn center. So white has played h3, interestingly. Oh, wait, what is it asking us to do? What makes black's defense easier? White center appears to give him a slight edge. Now that's interesting, though. You see, even though black still has something, because what he did is smart. Actually, someone says, "Oh, do this. It's a good idea." Like, why would you play h3? Because you're trying to protect d4. Black might go here and have more pressure, and they want to pin the knight sometimes to maybe even make the queen take, or try to win the pawn, right? Double the pawns possibly, or hopefully get the pawn or get more dark square control, right? One of these pawns can strike at it. So we know black's game is to put pressure on the d pawn very clearly. The e pawn, not as much. That's pretty easy to guard. There's no more pressure than the knight, right? But this pawn for sure. So he plays h3. They play h3, trying to stopping the pin, and thereby securing d4. But apparently it did take a move. So apparently black still has a way to pull out pressure. And Nikki, you were saying something?
Oh, I was just saying like this, I don't remember now, but I think that this looks like is this a King's Indian? Oh no, e4, d6, d4, knight.
It's the same structure as a King's Indian for black, but since white didn't play d4, c4, what is it? Since white chose to do this, didn't shift it over here, shifted the pawns in the center, d4, e4. It's technically kind of comes out of an e4 opening, which would be, you guys know the name of that one? A couple names for it.
Hertz.
Yeah, perks or whatever you call it, or
Um,
modern defense. Yeah. So same exact thing. So if you like to play, you can, it's pretty interchangeable because, you might start to do it, it might transpose. So you should be willing to do this against either the D4 E4 setup or the D4 C4 setup. But this is typical King's Indian D4 C4. So this is perks or perk or modern. So yeah, what's it saying? So black surprising next move abruptly changes the evaluation. Because yeah, again, it seems like white's like holding it down the fort, stops the pin. What do you think?
it's gotta be a pawn strike.
I think so, yeah. What else do you have? I mean, sometimes they'll play C6 and B5 and things like that. Yeah, if I had C6 on the board, I might go for B5, B4. The bishop would have to come back. Then actually, if interesting enough, this might actually become an issue. Sometimes if you have this too, you can put pressure on E4 too. Don't get me wrong. But H3 is directed against the dark square pressure for sure. Or a lot of times they have to take back with the pawn because the queen has to keep an eye on the D pawn. Anyway, they stopped that, but they did spend some time. We're castled, they're not, right? So what do we do? What move makes black's defense easier? It's a long one. The idea we're looking for can come about from many different openings. White center appears to give him a slight edge. However, black's one. Okay, so in other words, we cannot let his center seems to give him an edge, but we're going to do something about his center, obviously. What do we do about it? And you said a strike, Nikki.
Yeah.
Which strike do you think?
Mm. C5. Mm. And he pushes. C5, E6. No. I kind of want to do C5 or E5, but E5 does not look good to me. So that's probably the right one.
Well, E5. You said E5 doesn't look good, so you think it's E5 then?
Yeah.
Maybe
So
you're
probably.
right. Well, you can. It's not like a real sacrifice, possibly because the E-file stuff, or there's even like knight takes, then it unleashes the bishop. So it's not really a sacrifice. It's a common King's Indian idea, but now we're in the modern perk. I guess. So yeah, but C5. Where's your C5 idea? No, you think that might be right? Yeah, that's possible too. Interestingly, that could become a Sicilian, basically.
Mhm.
Let's say you end up taking and they take back. Well, now you have a Sicilian dragon structure. These have been traded off. Okay, that's the same thing as if you had done it earlier, played C5 from the start, and then D4 pawn takes, just a different move order. So it can certainly become a Sicilian-like game. I don't know. I mean, yeah, but as you said, E5 might be right. Well, the thing about this is they haven't castled. I mean, they're about to castle if they want, but E5 certainly addresses the E file.
And by the way, he likes to do like tricky stuff like so we're thinking like E5 or C5, so it'll be something like knight B D7, like or something like totally
Right,
random.
kind of throw us off a little bit. Well, let's give it
Yeah.
a shot then, see if we get thrown off. What do you guys think? Which one do you want to go for then? Any other options? Candidate moves? We have E5, C5. Not too much else, unless it's knight takes pawn. That's an option. That is an
Yeah, what
option.
about knight takes pawn?
That is an option. Yeah, we didn't look at that yet. So,
Mm.
so I mean, well, these would be our customary, but less surprise. That's the thing, though. The hint, if we're taking some test, and they throw a little hint at you, the hint is it's surprising. So meaning it's probably this move. Why is it this
Uh-huh.
move?
So knight
What
takes
happens?
pawn, and then knight
Then you
takes
got this
that
little
knight,
short trick.
and then
Okay.
you have a fork with the pawn when you move D5.
Yep.
Uh,
You get it back.
yeah, if he captures with his bishop, he just takes with his queen, takes the bishop with the queen.
That looks really good, actually.
Yeah. Now,
And then he
and
takes
we
the
talked
knight.
about like we talked about last time is like, should we do the pseudo sacrifice, temporary sacrifice? We don't do it just because we get the material like, oh, that was fun. Look, I didn't actually lose material, but we do it because there's a purpose. Well, in this case, we do begin rather than punching at the dark. Well, we're actually punching at the white squares then, but we're destroying a part of his center and actually we're gaining time. And well, it's going to be our move at the end of it because we're going to take, they're going to take, we're going to push. If they don't take, they lose a pawn. We're going to push then. And then then we take back one of the pieces and then they're going to take, and then it's going to be our move again. Right. So then we keep going. But we've unleashed pressure against D4. Unfortunately, I would love to pin the knight, but That's okay. But yeah, so it looks like it's given that he wants a surprising move. Unless it's, I looked at that for a second. No, it's not that move. It's the other way around. Nothing else to do. I mean, what are you going to use here? You got a bishop, a queen, a pawn, a knight. Got these pawn pushes. Bishop can't do anything, right? Those are the only things that might actually do anything. And we've exhausted those options. Maybe this pawn, but that you have to look at b5. I mean, hey, it's a move, but no, it doesn't work. Maybe you can play a6 and then b5 or c6. You have that too, but that's slow. It's not surprising. Therefore, are we going to do knight takes?
Yeah, I think it is. Aha.
Okay.
Now,
Next
if you
that
go
was the whole
back,
lesson.
like if you go back and play like c5 or d5, he'll probably diss you.
Let's see.
Or if you do something really bad, like he'll diss you.
Retry.
Like do a bad move.
Oh, here, but he does have
Yeah, it's like,
he does have answers. Let's see. Is there an answer to this one? So
huh,
he's actually, yeah, he's gone. He didn't just say that's wrong, try something else. He went pretty in depth. Let's do your other idea. Whoa.
yeah,
He
oh,
really took that seriously. It's
oh,
quite playable. But that's good. Like if you, so maybe you should intentionally try to get it right and then go back and get them wrong just to see these explanations.
mhm.
That's pretty in depth though. Well, the
Yeah,
thing,
they're all like that. It's all like written out like that. Like, so he does
I wonder if it's
long
pulled from one of his books or
explanation.
something.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Well, the problem is you can't click on it though and then see where you just have to do it in your head if you're looking at this.
Wait, there's no analysis thing?
What's that?
There's, oh, I was just wondering if
Yeah,
there's,
like sometimes what they would do at first is, you'd have a book and then they turn books into PDFs. And then they had the PDFs where you can click on the moves and it would be moving on a little board on your PDF, I think, right? That was kind of the evolution. And for the millennials, well, I guess all you guys, except for Jesse, we all saw the transition, right? Especially, well, millennials were born. They were Gen Z did not see both. Millennials did get to see both, right? Going from books to PDFs, and then to more advanced PDFs, and then to all the online tools as those developed from very basic to more advanced. I mean, obviously you got, but whereas the only difference is I had books for a little bit, and then the older generation just had books for a long time, right? You just books and then everything else, right? But I was there when books were around. I was. Hey, Dan, how's it going?
Good. Long time.
Welcome back. Yeah, it's been a few months. You been playing chess? Have you had time to practice recently? Or playing any events? You're muted. Oh, I guess you had to go somewhere. Yeah, let me know when you're.
I'm there somewhere that is kind of silent.
Oh, can you hear?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you've been playing recently?
We're doing well.
You've been playing? Are you playing? I guess you have to go back and forth there. Are you playing any events or just practice? Are you been practicing recently?
I do play when I have chance,
Cool.
when I have the opportunity. Yeah.
Playing online too? In person or online? Mostly online.
Yeah, I do play online.
Cool. Hopefully get to play another event soon. All right. So we were just looking at Jeremy Silman. Since Jeremy Silman passed away this week, we were looking at some of his lessons. So yeah, so we intentionally did the wrong ones, but the right answer is knight takes, and anyways, that gives us an idea. So let's go ahead and play the computer now, as we talked about. Yeah. Oh, Matt, you said what about knight takes c4? Okay, let's go ahead and play the computer as we were talking about. So yeah, we were just looking, Daniel. It just basically says, and this was the intermediate one. So like, of course, this is a little more basic for us, but still, it's good to remind ourselves because we can definitely get lost in the weeds. Be like, they stopped our idea, putting pressure. Okay, fine, we'll just bring out the knight. It's easy to miss that. Oh, hopefully he comes back because we only had him here for a few minutes. All right. So let's do the computer. Should we do one of those personalities on chess.com, I guess? Or should we just do like a lead chess, like just a basic computer? What do you guys prefer?
I think the personality would be fun. That's my vote.
Yeah, at least it's a little more interesting. I heard something on the radio yesterday about maybe you guys have heard about the study where they're like these little dinosaur things and people got attached to the dinosaur bots and then they had to kill the dinosaur.
What? No.
They're gonna be like, hey, if somebody doesn't kill the dinosaur, we're gonna murder all of your dinosaurs. So, and then people got really attached to them. So yeah, it definitely, even though we know it's fake, like it's interesting. Like we know this thing's fake, the computer. It's like, but it's much more interesting anyway. It's not like, oh, it's some, remember they used to have like, they used to be different bots at least. I mean, I don't know about this one, but like something like, oh, okay, I'm playing this person from Nigeria or from India or something, right? Like we have our students coming. But yeah, it feels like it's like, oh, well, you see someone's avatar online, like you barely see anything anyway, you know? So it's easy how you like fool ourselves to think we're playing someone.
Oh, thanks for
Um,
the link, Matt. He put a
what
link in about
what was it for?
For Silman's last article, which was like 3 years ago, he wrote, and he put a link in the chat.
Oh, so it has been, so basically like since the pandemic, he hasn't written anything, any articles. So pre-pandemic, he did a bunch of work, and then the last few years, I guess that's when he wasn't doing work, publishing, if that's the last one. Yeah, I don't know, I just feel like he has like this, it's kind of omnipresent, all of his work, but yeah, I knew it, yeah, it makes sense that I'm thinking of things that were from a few years ago. But his legacy, well, his legacy is clearly already there then. So intermediate bot maybe? Well, he's from Nigeria, just like Daniel. Although maybe Daniel will come and we'll play this fake, not the real guy from Nigeria. We'll play the bot version from Nigeria. But that's 1100. Is that too easy for us though? I mean, it could be like a warm up, just to discuss the thinking strategy. I mean, obviously, it's going to make mistakes if it's at 1100. You want to do that, or do you want to go a little higher? I think that might not be bad to start with. What do you guys think? 1400 maybe?
Yeah, maybe like 1400.
Hopefully we'll have hopefully Daniel will come so we don't need like a bot from Nigeria, but we have the real guy from Nigeria. Let's see. You said 1400, Jesse?
Yeah, to start.
Let's see. There we got this guy. Wendy, 1500. Oh wait, where was it? Oh, it's still under intermediate. Ali from Indonesia. Yeah, Indonesia, red on top of white. Poland, white on top of red, right? I learned that from chess.com. Getting confused. Oh, and now we have Peru, red and white side by side. See, they're giving you a little map quiz, right? Oh, is that one Vietnam? And then you got the Chinese flag, which has some similarity. And then Argentina. So you pretty much learn all your flags in a more interesting way. So are we doing Ali? Which one are we doing? Which version of the flag are we going for? Are we going for horizontal or vertical? Peru or Indonesia? What do you guys want? What is this guy? 1300. So which one of the 1400s are we gonna do? He loves to.
Just pick one.
That's me. You guys are playing me. My name. He loves to have fun and surprise his opponents. Pay close attention, or he might just unleash an attack out of nowhere. So it's in other words, a flash attack. Ali, he hasn't been playing for long, but he's improving quickly. He's been studying old games and developing a positional style. So one guy is more like kind of frothy, and the other one is a little more solid. What do you think? So that's interesting. That'd be kind of interesting to see how he tries to play positionally.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Random or white or black? I guess no friendly mode. We'll do the real thing. We'll do challenge. Which side do you want to play? You can practice from black if you want. I mean, we'll just do random. What do you think?
Random? I don't know. I'm just answering because nobody's answering.
White. It's default. All right. No, default is actually have white, but I think it's better to be able to play both sides. Okay.
On English.
Now what? English. Oh, interesting. We've been talking about the English. We just did
Yes.
class last week on the English.
Kind of works out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks. Oh, I see. Matt sent it. And his last article was the downs and ups of GM Elmar. So it was about a particular grandmaster element that he interesting.
I don't think he was actually given the title.
Okay.
I think the argument from a book written by a buddy of his or something is that the guy was the GM strength, but he never got the title. Then again, they say the same thing about Silman.
And when we said about Simutawe, he took him a long time to get the title. Wasn't Amen Simutawe who studied first GM from sub-Saharan Africa, right? Took him a really long time to get the title. Now as for Silman, I guess he just didn't have his norms. I mean, yeah, you could say he's GM.
He didn't want. I mean, when he was at his strongest, you know, to get a GM title, he'd have had to go play in Europe, and he didn't like to travel.
He lived in Paris at one time or something, but that was maybe after he had kind of given it a shot.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, you definitely back then you definitely had to travel. Nowadays, you don't have to go abroad really because there are more FIDE norm tournaments in the US, a lot more.
Go to Charlotte.
I think Washington State has a lot. Virginia has a lot. New York. What's that?
I said Charlotte.
Oh, Charlotte. Oh, they have those too.
The Charlotte Chess Center
they
has
have
2 or
the
3 a
tournaments.
year, I think.
Yeah, it's just how you who they bring in, you know. So you have to play against. If you want to become get a norm, IM norm, got to play 3 IMs from 3 different countries and perform 2,500. For GM, you got to play 3 GMs, 3 different countries, 2,600 performance, and then 2,500 rating ultimately after G. So anyway, what are we going to play against this? Remember we talked about playing E5, looking at both sides. I mean, we looked at English, so we're saying, oh, how do you play the English? But we were looking at both sides. Now we're playing against it. So if you do E5, knight F6, what are some other options we talked about?
C5.
The Borg.
You said C5?
Yes, for the symmetrical variation.
Symmetrical English for sure. What else can you do? What are some other type of position black can attempt to try to transpose into what type of game? That's pretty much the other main option. Now, in this case, they don't treat the hint is round 6 Fischer-Spassky. It started as an English, but they didn't actually treat it as an English, so it became another type of opening completely.
Was a Queen's Gambit.
Right. So he plays E6. I think Spassky responded E6 then D5. And then knight E6, things like that. No, I mean E6 D5, and then he goes like what B6, stuff like this. Orthodox variation type of thing. Okay, so C4, what do you want to do then? We have a few choices, few options.
Go reverse Sicilian.
I mean, that's the most aggressive. Why not? I mean, that's what people will tend to do if they want to attack you, right? If black, well, the thing is, that's what black does to get the initiative, but it's still a pretty good version for white because like they're trying to get an initiative, but it's like, look, if I don't do that, I'm just going to get maybe outplayed positionally, but then they're taking on risk, right? So no, I mean, even so, they're going to try to outplay us positionally. But like, yeah, at least you go for your attacking chances on the king side. And hey, in some cases, you'll do a reversed open Sicilian with getting our D5 stuff in. But again, you're always a tempo down from what you'd have as white against a Sicilian. So it tends to be pretty good for white. But still, it's like you got to give it a try. Otherwise, you don't have much to work with. So now what? You said nothing like a good game of chess. Okay, so what system are we going to adopt here? Are we going to go with the knight out? Are we going to stick the knights in front of the pawns? Are we going to, very common to try to move our F pawn at some point?
I like knight F6 here.
Just natural development.
Yeah, or knight C6.
Yeah, either knight. Yeah, this is flexible. If you want to move, again, moving the F pawn's a thing, but you don't have to. You can certainly bring out knight here and then bring out your bishop. This is very popular to go bishop to B4. It's not a bad way to go. You can get to C5. Some you get kind of punked around on C5. You can go to B4, definitely. E7, a little passive. You can fianchetto this way. Now, if you're going to fianchetto, it's a question of whether you go now with the pawn, rather with the knight in front, like, or if you're going to go F5 first and then go behind it. So yeah, a few options there. It would kind of be like a King's Indian, but not really a King's Indian because they haven't played D4 and C4, more like D3 and C4. But you treat it the same system. Kind of like we talk about the perk, the King's Indian, and the perk with Pierce, right? Same setup. So you can, if you love that setup, you can do it. You can fianchetto your bishop and bring your knight to F6 and castle. Or we can, Jesse said knight F6. Anyway, you can choose whether to bring your bishop out or not. You can go knight C6. That's about it. You can go D6 kind of passive. What do you guys think? pick your setup and we'll go from there.
I like knight F6 as well.
Okay. Anyone else?
Knight C3,
Knight C6.
6, yes.
Yes, we have 2 knight F6, 1 knight C6. Any other thoughts? They're probably, you know, not a huge difference, but the main thing is that if you're going knight F6, you might with the break immediately in D5. You're knight F6, it's going to be hard to play F5. If you really want to play F5, like a close Sicilian reverse kind of thing, a Grand Prix attack, you could do it soon. But obviously you don't put your knight on F6 then. It would just preclude that possibility. But not that that's your best possibility for sure. It's just interesting. It's aggressive. But in being very aggressive, again, you're going to give white the chance to hit back. So we had 2 for knight F6.
So
We
maybe
did
D6. Maybe D6.
And D6 is solid. So we have this, or not. Which one?
Probably D6.
So we have 2 for knight F6, 1 for D6, 1 for knight C6. Anyone leaning toward those 2 instead of knight F6? Otherwise, I guess the knight F6s have it. Anyone else want to do anything? I mean, this is certainly flexible.
Question,
What's that?
is the idea behind knight F6 to prevent C4?
C4 or E4?
Yes. Oh, E4, I'm sorry.
No, they can still play E4 anyway. So, yeah, in that case, with knight C3 first, yeah, they can get it in if they want to, right?
Mhm.
And then you can pin that, you can put pressure on the knight, try to take it, and then they'll go D3. Yeah, it's just quick development, really. And also, you might go for the reverse Sicilian, open Sicilian, right? Which we've talked about. Knight F6, then D5. But again, it's very ambitious to do that because you are playing a tempo down. It's okay, but again, this is like a better version for white, of course, than if they were to play like a dragon with black. They're going to have a lot of activity, put a lot of pressure because you're just striking quickly. Although, still, when you play a Sicilian or an English, you are moving your C pawn, which is technically not developing anything, your queen a bit, but you know, it's not opening up any bishops. You're still going to have to move 2 more pawns. Whereas white will be like, look, I'm just going to bring out my D and my E pawn. I'm rapidly developing, so they don't really waste any time in that sense. But yeah, but white's going for good positioning, control of the D5 square. So, well, he's positional, so it makes sense. So we have to put pressure on him. What do you guys want to do? Are we going? Most people say knight F6, I think. Was there anything else? Anyone favoring the other moves that were mentioned? They're all fine. It's just personal style, or in this case, group style, I guess.
Yeah, we might as well just do knight F6.
Let's get it out there.
Yeah, let's just do it.
All right, yeah. You are the good facilitator today. Just keep it
I'm
moving.
sorry. It just
Let's
gets
keep
very
this
quiet.
meeting moving. Let's keep this going.
Sorry.
No, that's helpful. Okay, G3. I'll be doing that thing. All right, now we got to figure it out. No, this is important. Well, at least these couple moves are going to determine the course of the game. What kind of game? Like we can choose to make it. That's going to be a completely different game if we play D4 or D6. We can still fianchetto our bishop. We can still go C5. I mean, this is actually a thing. You have to be careful about your bishop kind of sticking his neck out on C5. That is a thing. Yeah, this is like reverse Rossalimo system. We put pressure on the knight. That's okay. So these 2 moves, or you pretty much have to decide where to develop your bishop. But you can certainly insert this. But the question is, if you want to go D5, you kind of got to go for it. Because white is about to go bishop G2 and cling onto that square that he wants. Right? So if you're gonna, it's like now or never if you want D5. But again, it has its drawbacks. C6, D5, very slow. The thing is, these are all very slow for black to do. Maybe if you have the white pieces, but it's slow with black and that you're down a move.
Well,
But they're all playable.
I'm
What do you,
sorry.
Nikki, what do you want to do?
I'm sorry, somebody else was saying something?
No.
Oh, I'm just hearing things. Okay.
What are you leaning towards?
I think D5. I say let's just do it.
I mean, this is the sharpest and it's gonna get interesting. And then I'll kind of Yeah, I'll see how much you guys know about it. But if you want to know, the two most aggressive systems, like I said, are the knight c6, f5 one. The King's Indian is not that aggressive, honestly, against an English. It's more aggressive against d4 and e4 like this, because it's going to put pressure on here. But now there's no problem. We talked about who's heading out.
Yeah.
Hey, see you, Leah. Oh yeah, she got to stay. Usually she has to go around one. So yeah. So you see, because you haven't played for white, haven't played e4 and d4, this is not a problem. So the whole fianchetto is less effective in a sense, because you can even block, right? So yeah, so King's Indian is okay if you really like it. I don't mind. When I play in English, I'm like, that's fine. Because a lot of times they treat it like it's a real King's Indian, but it's not. You see what I mean? So it's kind of like mixing of opening systems can benefit you if they don't understand it fully. Anyway, so yeah, let's give this one a shot, yeah?
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. Pre-move. Okay.
Nice.
Bishop g2, I assume. So far so good. Now here's the thing. Basically what we need to do is when we're playing, you guys tell me what to do, but you guys tell me your thought process, but just in terms of the opening image, just to give you a sense, what you want to do is when you're playing a reverse Sicilian as black, and you can't be as ambitious since you're down a tempo, right? So typically what you'll do is you'll actually maybe even retreat your knight and have the knights like this rather than trying to keep it. You can, I guess, but it's going to be hard actually. It's going to be hard for you. And the queen's going to come, and if you bring out your bishop, you got to watch out with queen b3. And block often has that in an accelerated dragon. So now we have a hyper accelerated dragon. Now it's like a super hyper accelerated dragon because it's white to move. White has the first move. So you see we have this out very quickly. Immediate pressure on d5. So yeah, a lot of times people just tuck the knight back. I think that's actually probably the main move here. Yeah, you can see that black can run into a lot of problems. If you take the knight, well, we have to evaluate that. I want you guys to evaluate, okay, why don't we evaluate the main options, which would be take the knight, retreat. I guess you can retreat to f6, might get in the way. Which take, retreat here, or c6, guard it. What do you guys think of those options? C6 is reasonable looking. I don't think it's good necessarily. We'd have to find out. But what do you guys think of those options?
Well, if the main move is knight b6, then I think we should learn about
But
it.
yeah, but still, I want, yeah, let's go on. But I just wanted to see, it looks a little bit obscure, So like you kind of have to know that. I think that's the move if I recall. I'm pretty sure because I know there's like knight c6, knight b6 stuff. Pretty sure that's the move, one of the main moves. But I mean, knight takes c3 is it is important to know though. This is another matter. I'm not sure if that's good because of takes, queen b3 again. Right? Problem here. Bishop guards, oops. Might be a problem there, right? So, and then if knight, yeah, they could like knight block, might lose another pawn. Anyway, yeah, that could be bad. So knight takes c3, just tell me why you think that's not necessarily a great move.
Well, you're gonna lose him right away, so that's not good if you want to keep him.
Giving up control of, I mean, you're kind of totally giving up on control of the center, because when he takes back, he's already got the bishop out and you've got nothing out anymore.
And what about the pawn structure? Yeah, because it's two
What
against
pawn
one,
structure?
and it's one against nothing. What about the pawn structure for white? Did I miss it?
I said what pawn
He
structure?
said, what pawn structure?
For white or for black?
Yes.
black.
But,
Yeah, black and white, right?
I mean,
So
yeah, he can
for
take
white.
back
Okay,
with
how about the structure for white? when
he
you
takes
take on-
back with the B pawn. So he's still got center pawns. You've already given up the D pawn, so you've
Yep,
lost
yep,
one of your center
exactly. I
pawns.
mean, it's a thing. You can probably do it, but it tends to help white because you have the pawn coming to the center, and usually they'll even go like d3, nice and modest. Pawns are here. There's even a line where like the pawn pushes or something if you feel kind of. But yeah, there's take back d3. Bishop can come to e3 or something. Just nice, comfortable development, better center. There's just no need. So yeah. So you guys want to play that? I'm pretty sure this is the move knight b6 and knight
Just
c6.
quick question, real quick, is
Yeah.
was there I guess bishop e6 is like a blunder because of the queen b3 thing?
I think it's not ideal. Yeah, let me see here.
Okay.
No, you know what? I think it might be a move. I know there's some issues with queen
I
b3.
feel like there's a trick.
always
funny
trick.
enough, I was trying to find this yesterday with my student. The other way though, when black does queen b6 in this type of position. Okay, for example, there's a move like here, attacking, but then you can take the pawn,
Mhm.
I think, check and move and stuff, and then this is hanging, and I don't know, it's weird, right? And the knight gets trapped on g2 and stuff. I think that might be a thing. The only thing about this is there's knight b6, at least in that other line. The queen actually retreats to d8, so maybe you go back again. I don't know. No, maybe it's fine then. It's just like I'm not sure. Queen b3 is a little murky. Knight b6, I think, because now they're hitting the queen, and this is you have to deal with that, right? So let's say you retreat the queen back again,
Mhm.
then they like develop this one, and
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if that really is. Yeah,
I
I forget the
like it.
exact line. So maybe not yet. Yeah, in which case probably you could get away with it. But this is what I'm getting at though. Given that we're playing with black, you usually want to be a little safer because white has that extra move. So they
Mhm.
haven't, like, I don't know exactly what's going to happen. I forget. I haven't seen this exact position, I don't think, but I just remember that usually in against this in the reversed open Sicilian, you want the knights like this because just safer. But hey, look, if we think we can get away with it, then maybe we should. Well, what do you guys think? It should be based on your own judgment. What do you guys think about because it's tempting to go bishop b6. What do you guys think about that?
I kind of want to go with the experience, um, which is if that's like what,
The
because I
thing.
I don't know my openings that well.
Yeah, that's like the thing to do. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, you can't go wrong with knight b6 and knight
Yeah,
c6.
and let's
I
go.
know it's very common setup. We'll look at the opening book later, but yeah, pretty sure. Now bishop e6, but again, white will do that often. It's just I'm a little more cautious because it's reversed, right?
It's the minus the extra tempo. Okay,
Right.
that makes sense.
So go here. And then and then they're hitting this, and then we develop, right? So we develop.
Knight c6.
Yeah, and then now we figure out what to do with the rest of our development.
Okay.
We want to castle soon. So what do we do? But you can just see, like, you're not going to do a Yugoslav attack kind of thing where you're going to like castle queenside and mate them. You know, it's just
Mhm.
not the same thing. But it's like black knows that, but they're doing this because they want to still be able to play it relatively actively. But just remember, you're not going to be able to handle this as if you have the white side of Yugoslav attack. It's just not like that. Okay, but you're fine. Like, we have a lot of play, and we are playing a 1400. We're not playing Anand or something. So we should still be able to get a pretty good position if we handle it well. All right. Now what?
Bishop e7, kind of a weakish move.
No, that's probably the move actually. Well,
Okay.
here's the thing. Another thing about the knight being here is that they would often have the d4 thrust. So there's actually a move where there's another line where you're supposed to bring a knight to b6. That's what I was thinking of actually. I think it's when the knight's on b1 still, but something like that. So the point is you don't let them play d4. So like, for example, you go bishop d6, they could probably go d4. So the more aggressive move is actually probably worse than the nice and tight. And it's not like it's doing anything on g6 anyway, really. E7's fine. Looks both ways. Bishops can come in the middle or something. Just comfortable development. No problems in our position, right? Okay, let's get going with our development. We'll finish our development then. We'll castle soon. Should we just castle? And you guys feel free to chime in if you want something else. But I think we'll just get into the middle game, right?
Yeah.
Let's do this. Okay, now tell me what you want to do after this. Okay. Now we're in the middle game basically, right? I mean, we still have a couple pieces to bring up. We're pretty much getting into the middle game. We see where things are situated. Pawn structure's set. They just went a3, which affects a lot. It creates weaknesses. It creates ideas for white. So now we want to really get going with our middle game plans. Well, we can do the imbalance method. Imbalances, and then come up with our plan. Let's break it down. Yeah, let's use that technique. Because I mean, if nothing else, when you do the imbalances, you become cognizant of, you know, all the aspects of the position, right? And then you can use your own judgment. But you definitely want to make sure you leave no stone unturned. So what are the imbalances here? What do they have that we don't have and we have that they don't have? That's it. Then we'll know everything about the position for the most part.
Well, what we have is a weakness on wait a minute, bring it back over so I can see.
Oh, can you see? Yeah, I just
Okay, I
I
see
just
what
made
you
it bigger so I
yeah.
can write down. You see it now?
Yeah, we have a weakness on f5 that we could bring our bishop out to.
Why is it a weakness for whom?
It's a weakness for white.
Because you can access that square.
Yeah, you can access it, and if the pawn pushes, then you can deal with that. But it's
Well, yeah,
weak.
then they would weaken more squares like D3 and D4. So I would say you have more, well, you have more control over it. They can, is it fundamentally weak? No, because they can go H3 and G4 and kick it out, or E4. But then again, sort of is in a way, because de facto, because it's like, well, you can be there. And if they want to attack it, they're gonna have to weaken something else. So it's certainly available for you. Yeah.
And if you find a weak
if you want
place,
it, you have options. You might go here, you might go here.
if your opponent has a weakness, then you just try to create more weaknesses. If he tried to counteract.
Yeah, exactly. Like if they did play E4, then you'd have more to work with. So we can actually, interestingly, you might provoke that. And you might start putting more pressure on this, like with this push later on. Okay. So,
Okay, yeah.
So I'm gonna write that. Okay,
And
so I'll just say, well, I'll mention the F5 square that we can use for the bishop.
advantage for black is like he has more space.
Well, and what gives black more space?
The E5 pawn.
So he has a pawn that's advanced twice. White's only advanced once, even though white has more central pawns. But they're not. That's the thing about Sicilian or reverse Sicilian. White does have more pawns because the D pawn was traded for the C pawn, right? They do have the 2 pawns. There's only 1, but it has advanced 2 times, right?
And black can also get aggressive by moving the knight up to D4.
Yes, exactly. Very good. So this is a D. That's the other main thing that black has. So basically, D4 square, pretty much control, right? A lot of pressure on D4, and you can hop the knight in. So I'll just say knight D4 option / dark square. Well, we're seeing dark square control more for black and a little more light square control for white, right? Similar to an English. Well, it came out of an English. I mean, similar to, I mean, if we have an English where they're not traded off, or it's not even a reverse Sicilian necessarily, we're always, going to see white fighting for those light squares, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're still here. So we're still seeing that. Okay. 94 option. So basically dark squares versus light squares. So white has more light square, and black has more dark square control. Okay, what else? And light squares. And black, more dark squares. What else you guys notice? How about the most recent move? Both have pretty safe kings, right? How about the most recent move, A3?
Maybe you created a little bit of a weakness on B3, and they're probably planning on playing B4.
Right. So that's kind of like what like current, maybe some very some imminent actions here. So A3 prepares B4, but weakens exactly. So we see some weaknesses on the queen side for them. So we'll see if we can maybe probe that area. And that's the thing here, because like usually if we're playing as white against a Sicilian, we're probably gonna be like attacking more on the king side. Here we have to be more modest. Like, look, I'm not gonna come after your king. We're just not there yet. But we can maybe play on the queen side of the center. We certainly could play on D4, similar to white playing on D5, like knight C3 to maybe white with castle queen side to enhance that. Again, we're not going to go queen side here. It's just too, just have to remember, just to be a little less ambitious against an English in reverse. So, generally speaking, that's just how it turns out. I mean, hey, if you can get everything, take it, but usually you can't. In other words, you usually don't see people playing reverse Sicilian, going D5 trading and castles queen sides. It's probably useful to know that. It's just that tempo is so important because you can barely even do it with white sometimes because you get hit by the D5 counter strike. It'd be pretty easy for white to counterattack, right? Because they have that tempo. So A3 prepares B4, but weakens at least B3. So you have light square weaknesses on the queen side, but strengths in the center. Both kings are pretty safe. Well, white's king is very safe, a lot of pawns nearby. Interestingly, even the E pawn is part of your king side protection. A lot of people don't talk about that. Because, for example, let's say this pawn is just if every pawn that goes away is weaker. Like if this pawn goes away, it's much weaker, right? That pawn's there, covers diagonal. If you have the E3 pawn can cover diagonal attacks, see? And also it can help with central strikes, which can distract from king side attacks. So you can see that that actually white has really safe king position. You have to break through the fianchetto to get to the king. So really safe. So maybe, yeah, white's king is maybe even slightly safer than black's, but no one's getting to black's king. But you can see there's a lot of pieces nearby. So very, very strong king side. Black is okay, but white's not getting there yet, unless black oversteps. Okay. Anything else? Anything to understand? So we have the understanding of the imbalances for the most part. Development's about the same too, right? We both need to get out of bishop and queen to connect rooks. Same development. So question is, what are the plans now? We want to know for both sides really to fully comprehend the position as much as we can, right? And then we can go ahead. But this is important because we're just entering the middle game. Very important to understand. I mean, even coming out of the opening, you want to have a clear idea, but especially now, you have a strong stance coming into the middle game. So what do you guys think are some plans for us?
Well, I know that when I play against, well, when the Sicilian players play against me, and I know you said this isn't that big of a deal, is that like when they play like the bishop e6 slash, queen behind it and try to swap off that fianchetto bishop, but I guess that takes a long time. But
No, you can do it. No, that's a plan. So I'll make arrows for the plans. So bishop e6, queen d7.
yes.
And maybe, but yeah, that's a plan. Also, you might go to g4, and that might, well, that'll work in tandem with another idea potentially, which is what? You can actually start to see a lot of these ideas coming together, coalescing. So we'll see. We'll mention the other ones. You'll see. So what's another one for black?
What else do they always do?
Where'd it go?
Uh.
I clicked off 1 second. Where'd it go?
I don't know.
Oh, I think I just like shut down my Chrome window. Oh, that's annoying. We should be able to get it back. Hold on. Somehow I must have pressed the X or something. Okay, it's coming back up. And just paused it for a second. Okay, resume share. Oh, that's great. Now it should be there though, right?
It's there now. Well, it was.
No,
there.
I mean like our game should be there when I go back on here and we go play and we go to computer. It better be there. Start. Oh, don't tell me it's
Oh
gone.
no, that's okay. We remember the move.
Yeah, we do. Wait, where is where is the guy? If I say play them again, I wonder if it's. I doubt it. That's so annoying. I thought.
Oh, that'd be terrible if he did something different.
Oh, you mean? Oh, right. Yeah, he might. I figured he might.
Do you think he timed you out?
No, I just clicked on something, I think.
Oh.
Okay, wait, where was it? What was it under? It was under intermediate, right?
Yeah, I think it was him.
Let's see if the same thing happens. Okay, so we take black. Challenge mode. Let's see if it does the same thing. Okay, good.
Okay.
You can do it. You can do it. Nice E3, I hope. Oh, wait, didn't you do G nice E3 the other time?
Knight F6.
I think you had the knight on C3 the other time. Oh, that's no, maybe it was the other way around. Hopefully he goes knight C3 right now. No. Okay, hold on. No, but it's gonna be very similar,
Yeah.
Okay, now technically this is where you're supposed to go knight b6.
Okay.
If you go bishop e7, that's where he goes d4. And then we're gonna discuss the ideas because they should still be very. You know what? Funny enough, I think it's gonna transpose. Come on, go knight c3. You can do it. You can do it. No, wait.
Can you make him do it? Oh,
I think it's gonna transpose.
Okay.
No, it didn't.
Oh my gosh.
Got knight c3. Okay, but it's still very similar. The only difference is we talk about. Well, that's cool. I mean, we understood that. Now we'll understand something different. We're in almost the same position, interestingly. But he didn't play a3. Now we were gonna. Okay, so let's just make it something similar. Should we go bishop e6 or out or just castles first? No, I think we castled and we were
Castled,
talking.
yeah. We castled.
Yeah, we're gonna have something very similar. Probably go knight c3 now. Or a3. I hope they go a3. No.
What is he doing?
A very different setup. Very different setup. This actually kind of affect things, but yeah, really no. But the main difference is that they didn't play a3. Now, what I was gonna say or think about is with a3, you might go a5 to stop b4 and or play a4 and kind of clamp down on those queenside squares. So even though we normally play like in the center / king side, we can actually very much play on the queen side if they give us an avenue to do so. Okay, but now is there anything different? I mean, we can kind of bother the bishop more in a way in this case.
So,
But
I
that's
just want to
another,
ask,
other than
sorry.
that, though, any other plans to do that? Yeah, let's talk about that. We were still talking about the plans, so you can mention anything else you see here. It might be a little different, but similar.
So when you were talking before about the plan, remember like the queen and bishop plan, you're saying that the alternative plan would have been to play like a5 if he had the a3 pawn was there.
That's one. Okay, but the thing is, they can go hand in hand. No, the other thing is you can go bishop G. What I was saying with bishop G4,
Okay.
because you can't go H3, you can go there whenever you want. So no, what you might do is go bishop G4 anyway. Although he can toss an H3 first. But assuming you get here and here, then you can also go for knight D4, or maybe even take in some cases, if the knight's somewhere else, and then take back, then knight D4. Or you go there first, and then you try to make him take, and then like access E2. So anyway, that's another thing. But you can try to use the E, in other words, you can try to use the E file combined with the diagonal and hit the E2 point. That's the only thing you really access. And it makes sense if you're here. Now think about this. What if your knight's getting in here? You're hitting this point and this point, right? What if they go A3 and you go like this? Now you can come in here too sometimes. Pretty cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
Plus you have bishop on E6. Maybe you go E6 sometimes. Now you're hitting here. Maybe you have lines where the bishop goes here and then bishop comes into B3 and then the knight goes to C2. So you see it depends on the position, but point is you have a lot of your pieces can spring forward. You have a lot of mobility. So very interesting positions. And I've played these a lot.
Right, stop.
I've played these kinds of games a lot. Yeah, I had a couple of really nice games. One against Brandon Jacobson, he's a GM. I played him. I had this kind of position. It was good because it had a lot of pressure all over here, right? The bishop on E3, G2 against he literally did the same setup. So anyway, you can draw some lessons from some of your games and these openings. So now what? You have the idea of coming back to take the bishop. You can even move the F pawn and come after them with those. You can go E6, as Lynn said, F5. Think about where's the most purposeful for the bishop. The queen might come up. You probably push the A pawn after A3 if you want. Probably not. Well, you could do it voluntarily if you want to. You have 3 against 2 over here, technically. See, they have a central majority. You have a queenside majority. Right? I mean, yeah. They have all these central pawns. You have the queenside pawns, technically. So let's say these pawns got traded, you just have 3 against 2. So yeah, in other words, advancing these pawns are reasonable. It's reasonable at some point. Okay, any other ideas? I think we have a few ideas to use, right? Think about any candidate moves to carry those out, or any additional ideas you have.
My vote is for the pawn or the bishop move because we haven't moved him yet, but I know he likes to chill most of the time, but like
What the bishop on C8?
yeah.
No, you can develop it for sure.
Okay.
No, that should be the default. I mean,
Okay.
you could just have nice and comfortable, you
Yeah.
next to each other, 2 bishops next to each other hanging out, right? That's always comfortable. It's kind of funny. Sometimes you'll see this, and then you'll see like F5, and then the other bishop comes here. So you have 2 bishops here, 2 knights here, and then you have the rooks over here, right? Or the rooks here. That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
And they do tend to work well next to each other, actually, because the knights cover lots of squares next to each other. And it's not like from there, but like, what if this knight comes here and then the other knight comes here? Now they're like that, and they're looking at a lot of aggressive things. And the thing about the bishops, they could be here and here.
Bye, Jesse.
But they could be doing a lot.
Bye, Jesse.
Bye, guys.
Pulling up those the games or the puzzles earlier. Good stuff. All right, see you next week. Have a good one.
See ya. Thanks.
Yeah, so you can have bishops like this. But yeah, there is a thing where like white will do that sometimes. It play F4, and then so you have the bishop like coming to F3 if you want to. And that would actually help you control here. So it'd be very similar actually to having a G6, bishop G7, and F5. Only difference is you just haven't played G6, right? The bishop's just somewhere, you know what I mean? But you could do that too to control the dark squares. Stick the knight on D4 with the rook on E8. So you can see this theme of the E file pressure. And obviously D file pressure because we don't have a pawn there. That's a half open file. Now what about white? Well, they're probably going to play for the C file pressure. Pressure on C6. Knight might come into C5. They might throw their pawn still forward at you. So you can see this kind of nexus here. right? A lot of and you can see the bishop too. Yeah, you'll feel a lot of pressure on the queen side. So yeah, what do you guys want to do? Now that we broke down the imbalances pretty well, I think. Yeah, even though it's a different position, it's similar. The only difference was pretty much like here, just a little bit of difference with those pieces. So what do you think?
It just seems too soon to play like knight d5, but I really want that bishop. But like what?
Yeah, we went back, but then they did something here. And then the question is, do you want it? Well, they'll open up the rook, but it's an interesting imbalance.
Yeah,
You won't be able to come in here because the pawn will be there.
I see.
So it's
Okay.
kind of give and take. But can you do it? Yeah, you can absolutely go for it. It's absolutely an option. You will get that bishop. And the knight's not doing much. No, that's a candidate move. You want to get, and then you'll look at your bishops. They'll look really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, you got a nice bishop pair.
Yeah, and then this pawn might become weak on e3, especially due to his rating, since he won't play perfectly. Like maybe we could come after it later. Maybe queen b6 or something, right? Pawn was trying to win his pawn or come in, come in here or something. Okay. So you have knight g5. That's a candidate move. Any other candidate moves? Oh, we talk about bishop moves, right? Like, Lynn, do you still want bishop f5, or what bishop move would you want to look at?
Well, like Nikki said, he could go to e6 or f5, just get him out there so that he can, be able to maneuver.
Mm-hmm. So the only question is, should we bring up I think those are two reasonable moves. Again, like the a5 move, it's kind of
you
missing the point, not
move the
developing.
knight. You can move the b knight over to a d5.
No, that one. That's the one also we looked at. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we agree with that too. So here, knight d5. So bishop move, knight move. Again, the a pawn push doesn't develop anything. It seems like it's less impactful than after a3.
Yeah.
We got too much to do right now. We have other things. We have other
Yeah.
fish to fry.
Yeah. So it's pretty much you either develop your bishop or you kind of redevelop your knight, right? But in light of this new situation with the bishop, because if you don't do it now, again, opportunity cost. No, it's more like missed opportunity. Well, sort of opportunity cost in terms of you do something and you give the chance for you to do something else. In this case, as well as you do something, then they no longer give you the opportunity to do it. Sort of same thing, right? But it's on them because then they choose to go here, let's say. Actually, they can't even go there because you'd take, I don't know, like b3 or something like that. Or and then if you come after, they'd be like, never mind. Well, now they can come here, which they want. Actually, that's a very interesting way to play. That they would go here, trade off. They might trade off the bishops because they want the knight to actually end up residing on c5. There's that.
Yeah, let's go after
Yeah.
him.
So if you want to do it, just go after it, and then
Yeah, let's just get him.
let's do it. You guys want to do it?
Yeah, I want to take him out
And we
unless
created
somebody else has.
we created a very clear balance. What's that?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure, like, I feel like I'm hogging the game again.
No, that's cool.
No,
But
you're
now,
not.
no, this is you have vested interest in this, it seems.
Yes.
So there's some stuff going on here with the pawn aiming at the pawn. We're aiming here. A pretty tricky situation. I think that might have been their bad move though, because it's a good move in general. It's a good concept. But I think that might have been their bad move in terms of timing. Well, let's start now. Now it's right in front of us. Now we don't have to be too abstract, right? This is just boom. We've kind of done what we wanted to do. We clearly want to bring out our bishop. When we need to bring out a bishop and develop, finish, get our rook on the d8 and stuff. But we got to deal with this now. So what do we do about this? What's a concrete line?
I say if he takes, then the knight takes. Maybe I don't know. Let me look at it some more.
While we're here, I'm just gonna note when I didn't write down, just for the record. We had the bishop h3 / bishop g4, and I'm gonna say attacking e2 / f3 ideas triangle.
Oh, no. Okay. Okay.
No, yeah, that time it was my shared screen.
Okay.
It wasn't the actual just a comp page. Yeah, they would have to do it again and be like, oh, this time our new theme is, last time the theme was the nuance is, oh, we're gonna go after the b3 square. This time is we're gonna go after the bishop. But now we're gonna deal with the d4 push. But every single time, like, they're gonna give you some opportunity that's unique to that position, right? In this case, it's the bishop and then the d4 push. So we have to deal with these unique things and try to turn it in our favor. So what do you guys think about this? Do we take the bishop? Do we take the pawn?
I kind of want to take the bishop still.
So you take the bishop. Let's look at a concrete line. They take back on e3, then what do you have?
I think I would just take the pawn.
So
With
you've
the-
exposed the d file. First of all, you've gotten the bishop pair in a pretty open game. Well, it's opening up when you trade again. So you take on e3. Pawn takes back.
Pawn takes back.
You take it now. Visualize this one carefully. You've
Okay.
already moved the knight. That knight is gone, right? You have to imagine that knight's gone.
Okay.
So what's happening now? You take the pawn. What does white do in response?
He takes you back with the knight. The knight at F would just take him
Take
back.
back. Yep. So it'd be takes, pawn takes or knight takes. They could do either one. And then, well, when they take, let's say they did, like you said, then let's say they take on d4. Then what can you do?
We can,
Then you can just take him back with your knight.
now we could pin him. Oh, wait, no,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. No, I'm wrong. There's a pawn there.
Yeah, you just take it, I think. And
Yeah,
interestingly,
take
Nikki,
it.
the fact that we didn't develop our bishop might help us not lose our b pawn.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to deal with it. We have to play c6, but are we winning this pawn right here?
Yeah.
So what we've done is right now they have two defenders on the d pawn. We have two attackers. They have one defender for each attacker, right? But when you trade, you expose the queen. The queen opens up, the discovered attack on the pawn.
Uh-huh.
So now, yes, they have another defender. Well, actually, the f pawn simply replaces the bishop as a defender. See? But the knight wasn't affecting that. He was only affecting the trade of the bishop and the knight, but he wasn't affecting the how many attackers were on there. What he did affect, no, not himself. It was that when he moved, he adds another attacker. He was just in the way. But by trade, but he's part of the transaction here, because by taking the bishop and taking back, it opens it up. Then you take again, and they take back with some, and then you take again, and then ultimately you get to take this, and you're blasting open the dark squares, which is huge. Yeah, that's our advantage there. So
Yeah.
the only thing that I would look at if I had this position here, I would just say, well, let me double check real quick that I shouldn't take this first. I'm almost certain we take the bishop here. But I would say, well, if you take this first, and if the knight takes, oh, hey, maybe you can still take. But no, because then there might be some complications with them taking c6. Like, no, that's not necessary. Takes, what if the bishop takes? Well, it could take this one. Then, it's still a little unclear. I'm happy to take the bishop. It's like, I'm going to take the bishop. I'm going to bust it open. Also, when they have to take with the f pawn, they're going to expose their position. So they're going to take back. We're going to take this one. And even if we had the ability to push, we probably shouldn't. Unless we knew we were going to like win this pawn or something like that. I mean, hey, you always got to look at this move. It's interesting, actually. I would definitely look at it. Yeah, well, wow, that's actually very interesting. Okay, let's look at that move. But then the most natural move is, as we said, look, you have 3 on it now. They only have 2 on it. So you can just win that pawn. Just win that guy. Takes. And then as this opens up, the bishop's going to take over. Yeah, you just up a pawn with the
Yeah, he looks pretty busted.
But I would still look at this move. That's
Yeah.
kind of what happens there. It looks hard to defend. Well, maybe they just take your bishop and then defend the pawn after that. Like rook f3, maybe? No, it doesn't work.
Well, why would you move the bishop to a g5?
Just to try to, well, why do you think? Why do you think I would think about it? I don't think I want to. Well, I might want to. Why is that?
I
Why
mean,
is it-
I see what would happen, but if the knight took him, then you just take him back with your queen. But I don't
But then what?
see the
What would you do?
rationale
Well,
for it.
what's the idea after that? What's the threat that black would have by coming here? Whether it's the bishop or the queen replacing the bishop, what's the next threat?
Oh, check.
Mhm.
Right, we want the
E3.
pawn. So the idea would be to try to win this pawn. if possible. And it's like,
Oh,
so
yeah.
no, it's just like two ways. It's interesting. Kind of the difference is that in this case, you trade here, you're trading a knight for knight. You're almost just like, hey, I'm getting this anyway, but I'm just giving my bishop. I'm like, do I really want to do that? Like roundabout way? Probably not. But do we have to look at it? Yeah, we should look at it because it's a,
Okay, yeah, I see
because
that.
it's kind of like the direct hit on the E pawn, whereas this
Yeah,
is
yeah,
indirect through the D pawn. Does that make sense? But yeah, certainly it's a can. You have to look at it just to see it.
yeah,
Make it
yeah.
work. But I don't think it's great. The interesting thing about this though is that if they go rook f3, you can go bishop g4 and kick the rook out. But I do think that we like this way. Like, look, I know I'm getting the pawn. They can
Mhm.
bypass, a little messy. But yeah, I think we see it's good. But look, it's interesting. Like if you go here, they take, queen takes. It's not bad. But then like the bishop can take. I would just, yeah, let's take the D pawn, right?
Yeah, just take the D pawn.
Let's just take that thing. And he probably takes back. Nope, they don't take back. Okay, that's fine. Now we want ourselves a pawn and we can figure out how to go, but we know we have an advantage now. We can take another pawn, just resolve that issue. We can develop more, whatever you want. Well, they are trying to bother us on that B pawn.
Well, we could take that pawn and sacrifice it, and then,
Yeah,
well,
because it's like, well, it's like we just keep liquidating everything because we got one. We basically got a 2-for-1 deal. We got these two for the one pawn, and keep in mind, it's very important that we're blasting it up. And see, we preserved that bishop, which made a lot of sense. Even not even tactically, just positionally made a lot of sense. We're blasting up a line, so hey, let's use that dark squared bishop uncontested again. Then always comes up.
right.
I remember we talked about that originally, so it's always our thing. Uncontested dark squared bishop or light squared bishop. I think
That's the dark one.
in this case, it's the dark square bishop. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
And as you can see, that could lead to some serious problems.
A
Right.
serious problem.
Well, actually, I would look at bishop c5 too right away.
Yeah, definitely.
If
That
it
would be
works,
one
yeah,
of my
look at
first
that.
moves. Bishop c5.
Or just takes and lure the queen onto the line of fire. You know, both are interesting. What do you guys think? They're both probably fine. Just a
Well,
matter
if you
of-
bring your bishop out before you capture him, because you got that one on D already, D4 already protected. So if you move your bishop out to C5, and what would he do then? Maybe he may take. I don't think he would take the D pawn.
No, he just helps you blow it open. You're just blowing it open. That's dangerous.
Yeah, you just blow it open. Yeah.
Oh, but then if he doesn't take, you might win the whole pawn, meaning it two.
Yeah.
But then you have to ask yourself,
Yeah.
hey, my bishop's a little loose out there. What if he goes rook c1? What if you go here and then he goes here? So you have to ask yourself that. Your bishop's sticking his neck out a little bit
If
on
he
c5.
goes rook c1, you just move him right on up there to a bit. I mean, you got to fight. This is war. Just move him right.
Yeah.
If he goes
Yeah,
there,
I mean, like, but if it's loose, I'm like, I'm not giving you anything. It's
That's true, too.
taking all this stuff. But no, but bishop
That
c5
knight
it's a
c4
very
thing.
dangerous idea. What's that?
After the knight c4, after we go to b6, I'm not sure.
Exactly. I'm just looking at this. Now you could take here, and then he takes, but I don't even want to give him. I don't want to give it to him. That's the interesting thing about pawn takes and queen takes. Then you're like, I'm just gonna go rook e8. I'm gonna go bishop f6. Like I'm just gonna keep using
A
that.
nice simple.
Yeah, bishop c5. We already have the pawn anyway when you take two. And you can leave. The thing is, you can leave it there too. You can be like, I'm just gonna develop, but that's the annoying thing here. Oh, speaking of which, this move allows the block. But as you said, there's a lot going on. So bishop c5, rook c1. You cover the queen's attack on here, if you care about it anyway, if you want to block it. And then they have knight c4, somewhat obnoxious.
Mm-hmm.
Takes. Yeah, it gets pretty deep. Oh, and then queen takes, then we can take on a2. It gets
Oh my
pretty deep.
gosh.
Well, we're at, okay, let's go back again. So anyway, no, but Lynn, the idea, as you said, the warlike things, like, yeah, we're just going after him. Just got to make sure, we want to make it work. So just make sure it's safe enough. But certainly you can, okay, this is good. Probably it looks like it. Maybe they use the other rook then in that case. If they don't want us to.
And then you can just push your B pawn up just for protection, so the queen won't come down.
Oh, that's actually very important. It's actually very important. This could come back to haunt you. Why?
The pain in the neck on g2.
That bishop on g2 is going to unleash its fury. See?
Okay, bishop comes down.
Yeah, you do not want that. Well, they just take, no, maybe,
Okay,
maybe.
okay.
They can just like scoot away. I don't know. Can even go here actually. Because then if the knight takes, you take the rook or something. I mean, they're just not, you don't want to deal with that, right?
Yeah.
So, but you can see, yeah. Now,
Yeah.
this one's kind of annoying because they hit the knight. I would say default is to take or else Lynn's move with bishop c5. I mean, I definitely consider that too. Because like you don't have to take. This is the builder. The only question is really if they attack. Let's say they go this way. Bishop tucks back. Again, you just have to know that they're going to come after your bishop with rook c1 and knight c4, which is annoying. Which is what would potentially weigh in favor of pawn takes. It's pretty subtle, right? But you got to think about that, right? It's like, yeah, it's war, and you're gonna get the most out of it, which is to preserve your bishop as an attacker. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So what do you want to do then?
It seems straightforward just to take the pawn.
Yeah, I'll just take it. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Yeah, but now the queen, I mean, you know, we don't need the bishop there yet. It's just like the prospect of bringing the bishop out is pretty scary for them. Well, then I would definitely think about b6 now because I like that move a lot. But do we need it yet? Probably not. I mean, let's look at our options. That's certainly an option now. I mean, it's threatening to win the queen, right? So we can think about that. We can think about bringing out the rook, shifting the bishop somewhere else. What do you guys think?
I like all of them. I like rook e8. I like b6.
I mean, you could still play bishop e6, bishop g4, bishop e6. Like, I want to do something on the e file though, right? I don't know if I want to play bishop e6. Maybe, yeah, but like you can certainly go bishop g4, queen d7 stuff still. I mean, we're just up a nice clean pawn. We have the bishop, so we have a huge advantage now. Up a pawn, open position for the bishop, solid. E pawn's weak too, right? And they have the weak diagonal leading to the queen and the king. So yeah, huge advantage, like probably winning advantage, but still they have a lot of play left. So like, you know, you have to prove it. A lot of play in this.
Yeah, maybe not b6 then. I do like b6 though. I don't know. Rook e8. Rook e8 seems good. I don't anybody
Rook E8.
else?
Just develop. Only problem with rook e8 is you're abandoning f7. Be a little careful. Now, does it actually amount to anything? I don't think so. You also have bishop f6. Yeah, you have to be careful though.
Well, David, now this is where your bishop could come up to a g5 and create some issues.
We want to get there tactically. Does it work yet?
Ooh. Well, you would be threatening the queen. The queen would have to move or capture you, and I don't think the queen would do that.
Take a look at it more take a look a little more carefully though about something they might have.
Okay. I know the
at that.
knight. I see the knight.
Yeah, the knight's there to take you.
Yeah.
If the knight weren't there, yeah, then if the knight's not there, then they're toast. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, also, you even have like this cheapo, kind of a cheapo, but it's like interesting because you're threatening.
Well, I thought about that too, but what does it really do though?
It threatens a fork, but also it can reroute to here. I mean, like our original. If you're not going to come, but I mean, it's kind of like served its purpose, winning the pawn, and now it's like, and now I'm going to do more dangerous things to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
I'm
that
not
knight
sure.
move.
Like, I'm not sure once it gets here. Well, actually, then it would hope to land on e3. It's possible.
I'd probably play the knight move because that's how I play.
Just to go.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, I think you're justified. I think it's fine. That's well. Let's look at our moves though. We have what you make the move not just because like you like it because it's tempting, but do it because you know you've weighed it out carefully. You're like, all right, I've weighed it out. I've looked at rook e8, bishop f6. I mean, b6 is a move, Lynn. I'm gonna go. It wasn't necessary earlier. It didn't have much as much. You know, it was just weakening. It probably wasn't. But now it has much more benefit.
Yeah, it's
Because
like a
you've got
direct
more
threat.
threat.
It's just
But here's the problem: once they stop the threat, then you still got to deal with this guy. So it's probably not worth. Like, look, they just go. What happens? They move the king. Like, okay,
oh yeah, true.
yeah, bishop c5, but they can move the queen. Not that big of a deal. And then you still have to resolve the issue of your knight.
Okay.
And you know, like this is not that. It's okay to go here, but I'd probably rather be in the middle. Anyway, yeah, but maybe we should do your move, John. Let's do the thing. Do this thing.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
Let's
let's
do it.
do
You guys
that. Do it. Yeah.
And if he doesn't see it, fork him.
Fork
Yeah.
it.
And even if he does see him, fork him. Okay,
He doesn't see it.
Yay. Wait, let's see to see. Oh, wait, here's anything.
Yeah, I
on
mean,
the
double
bottom.
check always, be like, does he have? I don't think he has anything, but I would always
Mhm.
look, just to be sure. Or look, because it's like, hey, maybe now I have some opportunity, like this move, right? Oh, wait.
Right. right.
Or maybe like go win 2 exchanges, be like, okay, I'll make you go block this way, and then I'm gonna fork you this way. So first I'm gonna skewer you, then I'm gonna fork you. Oh man, that sounds brutal. But yeah, we have this move in. See, now it's possible. So we can do our cheapo, not cheapo. This was the cheapo attempt, which they let us do. Or here.
Yeah, he's falling apart.
Yeah, it doesn't look, like he didn't do anything that wrong, but we had to exploit it. Like the whole bishop e3 thing. We went for our knight d5. It yielded something for us.
Yeah,
Oh.
this is playing both sides of the boards,
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. We're hitting them this way, left, right hook. I think I have to go in a minute anyway, so we're probably gonna see a winning position, right? Okay, go here. And knowing that they're gonna make mistakes, it might get even worse for them. And rubs here.
Okay.
Yikes.
I mean,
Sure.
we're definitely winning material.
And then knight c2.
Let's
Yeah,
go for
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Make it two
everything's
holes.
collapsing. Wait, can they hold on to this? Okay, now we can take our pick. What should we win? But yeah, we have our winning position now. Well, we could take whatever. We have, okay, yeah, let's just basically secure our victory here in terms of material. We can take this one, and or this one. What should we do? I almost preserve my bishop, but I want to hope that I'm hoping I get my fork. I always want to keep my bishop. But what do you guys think? You could take it. You can take this. You can take this. All good.
Okay, you can't take it unless he moves that. Okay, let's see what we're gonna do here. If you take him, then he'll come back down there. Okay, so maybe the queen should just, well, the queen should just go ahead and take that knight at d2. And
Yeah,
then
actually, I was tempted to do that because then the rooks are still hanging.
yeah,
I guess they can back up this one, but
he could back up, but then
here comes the knight or something. It's
yeah,
bad.
yeah, and then you can come back and take the other one.
And this is hanging, so if you, yeah, you can take this, but it's like decentralizing. I like
Yeah, you could take him, but then the
when
queen.
when in doubt, develop a queen and centralize it, right?
Yeah,
Right.
I love that queen there.
That looks
Right.
nice. Yeah,
Right.
let's make another couple moves, but I think we see where this is going.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, they
now,
are attacking this. You gotta be careful.
okay.
A little
Okay.
careful. But I mean, look, we're up a full what? We're up a full piece now. And a pawn or two. Up a pawn and a piece. So let's just secure this victory now. What can we do? They are
Okay, let's
here. What can we do about this? We have to deal with that.
secure this victory.
Just lock it in. Yeah, I think just lock it in, secure your position, and we just like, I'm up a piece now.
Okay, so queen just takes the pawn at e2.
Well, actually, well, I mean, in that sense, I wouldn't recommend to lock it. I wouldn't be like, well, let's keep taking pawns. I mean, like secure, like
Okay, you want to
safeguard your
secure
position.
it.
Because look, then they're gonna take you here, maybe. See?
Yeah.
Oh no!
Oh,
Oh,
my-
that's great. Then you're gonna get forked. No, but if you get too greedy, then you take this and you get checkmate. Oh wait. No, it's not checkmate. Oh wait, that's see, we got to keep going, right? We got to keep going.
Right.
No, wait, no. In that case, so you can tempt them to take. Now you got to watch out for this too. They have check, and then
Right.
they have queen check.
Check.
Oh, you move this way, they have a mate. See, it get a little dangerous. Check, rook takes check, king over. Check, king up. It looks dangerous, but it's okay. But still, I mean, if you want to play it safe, you can play this move.
Yeah, or I was
And
thinking,
no questions asked. I'm just getting my bishop out, everything's secure. Or
Yeah.
oh yeah, or you could take that.
yeah, I was just thinking take rook and
Take
force
your
a
rook and bring out the
queen
bishop.
trade.
Game over. You're up a rook. Or you could trade queens too. What's that?
Yeah, take rook and then just play like queen e3.
Yeah, then you know we're securing our victory. You guys want to just do that for them.
Yeah, and
We'll
just
call
trade
it a day
down.
at that point. But we know we're
But
up
I'm
a
sure
rook in
that's
the end
like the,
we're up a rook in the end game. You
yeah,
don't even need, I mean, you could do other things too, but
it's
I mean,
just, yeah, it's just like,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, you're up 6 points, right? And then I would probably
Nice
just
and
like
simple.
develop the bishop, right? Get the
No, I would
bishop in.
play like something first because I don't want to lose my pawn.
Which pawn?
pawn on
Oh,
B7.
that pawn. No, interestingly, if he takes, you just go here and come in.
Oh, okay, okay.
Let's do it. Let's see if they take. How about bishop here, maybe?
Ooh,
And then
yeah,
can
it's
I
locked
have more
in.
mating ideas, maybe? Like, what if you kick? Okay, good.
Ah,
Oh,
okay,
we
good.
might be able to finish him off quickly now.
Yeah, bring that rook over to the D file.
I mean, now if you really want to, you could come here and get it, but I think we don't need all that.
No, I like that
Uh,
rook on the D file idea too.
Yeah,
rook
because,
here?
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Check.
open. It's
Okay,
open.
so they want to go here with the knight. We can check them. They come here. Maybe be a little bit careful about that anyway.
okay.
But we could, if we really want to. I don't care about material now, though. Oh, it's funny. You can go here too. You can stick the bishop there and take this one. I don't know.
Ooh,
There's a lot of
that's, yeah,
things
that's a
to do.
cute one.
It's kind of cute. Yeah, it's cheeky. Should we do this?
Cheeky, that's perfect word, yeah.
Okay. Okay, let's just do it quick. Let's
Yeah,
get him.
that's good. I like the
But
cheeky.
we know we got him,
Yeah,
Oh no, we should have seen that. Oh no, it doesn't matter. Just take it. Yeah, okay, then he collapses.
yeah,
Okay,
he's
okay.
done.
Yeah, okay, we know it's done. I mean, you can play on. We all know how to win. I think we all know how to win this one now, right?
Yeah,
Get the rook out. Probably the knight will come here. Just don't hang the rook or something. Yeah, but I mean, we know we can just bring out our pieces. We don't have to worry about getting back rank mated or something like that. Yeah, just
snarf some pawns.
things like
Yeah.
this or whatever, But we can probably don't need to play
That's
on it.
really useful. Those are really useful.
What is?
This whole thing, this whole like lesson against the computer. I know it's just a computer and stuff, but like the coming up with the plans, like the middle game ideas. I found it very, very
That's good.
interesting.
That's good. Thought it was useful for you.
Yes.
Let's finish him off real quick.
Okay.
Come
He's in kill
behind,
mode.
finish him off. Let's see. Maybe I think cutting him off might be the easiest, possibly. We have to find the actual mating idea. Well, it would be to get the rook here. But how to get there, that's the question.
We just need one rook. I mean, sometimes I always
Right,
say
I was
we
going
need
to
to
say,
do
you
like-
only need one and you got to get rid of that bishop, so.
How do we
or
get
work
it over
around
there?
that bishop.
What if we come
Yes.
around? What if you come around or something?
Yeah, I was also thinking,
Yeah.
like,
But still,
I
where's
always
the
tell my
actual
kids,
mate?
like, just,
Oh, well, let's cut him off first. So this
Yeah.
king doesn't get to come out. Let's be relentless, right? Oh, they're not gonna get stalemate. No. Now, what if we do a little here, 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 and here? I mean, I don't know. I don't really see.
Well, you just pushed the knight over to F2.
Oh,
And
duh, did I? Oh, wait. Oh, no, it doesn't work yet because the king will come up. Yeah, the king will
the
come up.
knight, wait a minute.
We want the knight there to keep him embedded in there because we want to go mate him like this.
Okay.
That's all we got. That's all you got.
But you got your two pawns there. Protecting that, yeah, okay.
Yeah, the idea is like, so if you keep him in there, you don't have to worry. Then all you need to do is bring it is just come out.
yeah, you just work.
That's one mating pattern. That's one
Right.
mating pattern. You can do it different. Like you can probably do it a different way. There are many ways. You can do it.
Yeah.
If you prefer a different way.
Yeah, no, that works. That works. with
Oh
the-
no, it's a check. It's a spite check.
Yeah, definitely a spite check.
Oh no, I gave him another spite
I
check.
was just gonna say,
Oh,
Just take him.
Yeah, it's not
unfortunately,
stalemate.
because he still has one more
Yeah.
pawn.
Now that works.
Well,
There you
actually, no, I can't
Yay.
do it.
well
All right,
done.
guys. Well, nice. Yeah, nice analysis today.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I'll see you
but-
guys next week.
Good
Take
night,
care.
guys.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Hey, you too.
All right,
Bye, guys.
Thanks,
Great
guys.
Bye.
weekend.